Okay, I'm going to try and keep this as simple as possible and as raw as possible, because I don't have a lot of time to edit things nowadays. Bit of an update. I want to get this out of the way now while it's still fresh. Basically, it's an update on the missus. As I have spoken about a lot over the last couple of months, she's been very unwell. So if it's not been one thing, it's been another. She's basically started with norovirus and just gone downhill dramatically. Like sleeping in the middle of the day and shit. You know it's bad when someone who was full of energy only 6 months ago sleeps in the middle of the day. You know it's bad. So basically, she was starting to suffer with a lot of issues, flus, coughs, colds, that sort of business. And it just wasn't getting any better. She seemed to catch one thing faster than she was getting over the first. And it all kind of came to a head when she started getting a swelling in the glands under her tongue. That really started to concern us, because it was getting painful to eat and talk and stuff, and they were starting to swell up a lot. Now, I'm not saying she isn't used to having things in her mouth, but it's starting to get annoying. Sorry, making light of a dark situation. So yeah, it was all getting a bit much. She was starting to get upset a lot, because who wouldn't when you've been ill for 2 or 3 months in a row? It starts to grind you in more ways than one. So we went to the doctors. First doctor, antibiotics, and that sort of helped, but didn't take the problem away. So we were like, okay, back to the doctors. Second doctor recommended medicine for oral thrush. Nope.jpg, we told her it's not oral thrush. We can see that it's not oral thrush. It doesn't present with any of the similar things as oral thrush. But anyway, she gave her the medicine regardless. It didn't do a thing. I believe it was a week before we finally got a chance to go back to the doctors and say, nope, you got it wrong, bud, try again. Next doctor basically said, okay, bloods. Now, this is where the issue begins, because my missus has a phobia of injections. Now, she's had piercings in the past. She doesn't mind tattoos or anything like that, but it's injections, the actual act of pumping a chemical into her body that she has an issue with. And it genuinely does get her really worked up and upset. So the idea of having bloods taken really fucked her about a bit. But anyway, after fighting her a little bit, we got her in the room. They did the blood test. We waited a week, phoned up, and they asked us to go in for another blood test. Of course, again, it was a case of calming her down, getting her in there. Second blood test out of the way. They said, okay, for your next appointment, you're going to have to book an appointment with the doctor to discuss the results. Now, this is where I come into it a bit. I shit myself. I know I'm supposed to be the boyfriend and soon-to-be husband who is strong and confident and doesn't let anything bother him, but I gotta be honest, when they say, right, okay, you've got to have a second blood test and then you've got to come talk to the doctor about what we found, that's a bit of a fuck. And I could see the screen with the original results on. Now, it didn't say exactly what was wrong, it just said abnormal in red next to some of the things. So that instantly got me into like a mini panic. Anyway, fast forward a few days, she's pretty calm about it all. She was just like, I just want an answer to what this is wrong with my mouth. I just want to be able to eat my food without being in pain. So I was like, yeah, cool. I was the one who's getting in a bit of a tiz about it, but I kept it under wraps because obviously I didn't want to worry her. I was on a night shift and I didn't see anyone for about 2.5, nearly 3 hours. In that time, my tiny little brain managed to convince me that the world was going to end. Some of you may know yourselves that when you're left alone with your own brain to think, your brain whispers to you and goes, you know it's cancer, you know it's this, you know it's that. And even if your rational brain is sitting there going, it ain't, it can't be, it still gets to you. It still makes you have like a mini panic attack about things. So I was shitting bricks. The missus just wanted results. I was shitting small house items. This car's going excessively slow. It's a 50. Fucking ass. Anyway, yeah, so I was shitting bricks. We finally get the appointment, we go back there, and I was truly bricking it. My stomach was upside down, I felt like I wanted to throw up all the time. But anyway, we finally go in, we sit down, and the doctor delivers something, a bit of news that I was over the moon about. My girlfriend is vitamin B12 deficient and folic acid deficient, which basically means vitamin B12 and iron, to the better of my knowledge. I was chuffed to bits when I heard that, because the treatment for such an ailment is 3 months of tablets, or 4 months of tablets for the folic acid, and a 2-week course of 6 injections for B12, and then it's 1 every 3 months, or depending on what the doctor says. Now for me, that result was stellar. I was over the moon with that. I was like, that's brilliant. You know, it's something that can be managed, it's something they can keep an eye on, and it's something that, you know, it's not cancer or diabetes or, you know, a fucking stomach ulcer or anything like that. It's not something serious. It's something they can manage quite easily and quite minimal in my opinion. But then you got to remember that my missus has a phobia of needles, and when you tell her that she's got to have 6 injections in 2 weeks, regular blood tests, and 1 injection every 3 months or 12 weeks as she prefers to say it, that causes that causes her to have a bit of a panic, because she really does get herself worked up over it. And it's not like some people, you know, some people who don't like injections, you can tell to look away and not think about it or talk to somebody, and they get over it. They have the injection, they get on with their day. Just knowing that she's going into a room where she's going to have an injection sets her off. So it's been quite an effort to get her to, you know, be calm about things. And she doesn't see it as a good result yet. I'm hoping she'll come around to my way of thinking and understand that what we're saying is a good result. Okay. But yeah, we've got to wait and see how she comes around to that. But for me, it's an amazing result. I mean, it's a bit sad, and there is a bit of a trend in her mother's side of the family. Like some of her uncles who are a bit older have got vitamin B12 and iron deficiency and whatnot, so they need it as well. So it's really there, you know, like there's obviously something there that's wrong, and it obviously attacks later on in life. But maybe having that serious illness kicked it up a notch, and it's just kicked a little ass. But yeah, so overall, it's a good result, but fuck, it had me worried for the longest time. I was in pure panic stations for a little while. Because you just see that abnormal in red, and your heart sinks, and you just think, oh god, there is actually something wrong. That it's not just oh, you're just a little bit tired, you've been working yourself a bit too hard, or you know, something reasonable. You actually start to think, oh shit, there is something seriously wrong here, and we've got problems. But thousands of people live with this vitamin B12 deficiency. It's just one of those things that people have. Got to get her to come around to the idea that having injections isn't a bad thing. Apparently I'm not very good in the room with her, because I keep like making faces, and I'm basically a prick. There's no two ways about it. I'm trying to desensitize her to the idea that getting stabbed with a needle isn't bad, but I'm no psychologist, I'm just an arsehole. So yeah, that's basically the update. She is on the mend. Nothing wrong with me, other than, you know, my mind. But the main thing is Laura's on the mend, and this whole 4-month saga I think we're into now, 3-4 month saga, is finally coming to a head, and we've got answers, because that was possibly the worst thing, is that we didn't know, and we couldn't be told, you know, they couldn't give us a definitive answer as to why things were happening. Like the whole mouth swelling up is one of the side effects of a vitamin B12 deficiency, and folic acid. Basically it causes your saliva glands to inflame. So there you go, the more you know. But yeah, I'm just really glad that things have come to a head and it's all manageable. But I seriously had a minor heart attack at first. Breathe a sigh of relief with regards to that now. It's nice to finally have the answer. Oh, and just to make sure you all know, she did give me the okay to talk about this. I asked first, you know, it's a bit of a personal thing, you know, someone's health, and it's not right to talk about it without permission. But yeah, I asked her, she said I could, so I did. I mean, it's mad really. Like, if it was my health, I probably wouldn't be that bothered at all. I'd just go to the doctor straight away and get it dealt with, you know, regardless of what had to be done to me. But because it's her, I lost my shit and I lost my cool. And I suppose that's what family does to you though, isn't it, when you love someone? Fucking weakness they make within me.